Alright guys, I'm livid and we're going to be getting into that in today's video. I'm not even going to do my normal intro. That's how pissed I am at the YouTube commentary scene. Drop a like, I guess, and follow me on my socials. But I mean, that doesn't really matter because the way my friend Jason was treated on this platform after he made a video where he literally almost had his life taken away from him is absolutely pathetic. He was beaten twice, not only at his home, but by the commentary community, and especially by a very special commentary YouTuber. And we're going to be getting into just that on today's video. Now, bear in mind, I have a commentary news channel myself. I've become a more positive news source over the last year. Over the last several months even, I've improved. I'm not going to say I didn't do the disrespectful thing of talking about something just because it was viral or dramatic or YouTube drama. I'd been dragged into that, but I believe I've changed since then. What happened was I reported on a lot of Imjaystation and Imjaystation drama with the whole girlfriend prank and whatnot, which I didn't approve of. He looks back on that and he wishes he never did that. And I made a lot of views on it. I made a lot of subscribers on that. But Jay's grown from that. Trust me, he's learned his lesson. He's lost $500,000 almost by getting demonetized this last 5-6 months because of the girlfriend prank. Anybody would learn their lesson losing that kind of monetization and revenue, changing their lifestyle, changing their income, changing their savings account and their future. YouTube hasn't reviewed him yet. They haven't given his monetization back. They made it very clear that it was temporary, so he'd learn his lesson. He could delete what he needed to on his channel and not do that sort of thing again. But they could have at least reviewed one of their biggest creators' channels for revenue again. And I'm very disappointed in YouTube for that. I'm very disappointed in Keem and the commentary community as a whole for trying to get him and his revenue removed. That can send someone into a funk that they could never recover from. You can learn your lesson from a strike or two, not being able to upload for a while, having your monetization taken away for a week or two, but this is just too much and has gone too far. However, that's not exactly what we're going to be discussing in this video. What we're going to be discussing in this video is what happened a little over a year ago. Jay uploaded a video to his channel where he went over exactly what happened to him, either on June 24th of last year or a few days before that, where unfortunately several men in ski masks came into his house and had things in their hand that they never should have brought into his home and used on him in ways they never should have used, that you should never use on a human being. Now, recently, I have actually become friends with Jason. Imjaystation, as he's known on the platform. I was in talks with him, trying to help him over Instagram, DMing, many months ago when he was going through some troubles. I knew that he'd gone through hard times when I saw him crying on his channel. I saw a genuine side of Jay that I'd never seen before, and it made me care about him more, and it made me want to talk to him and try and help him in ways that maybe no one else reached out to him to help him in. And we talked a bit on Instagram, and we'd talk here and there, and Alexia came back into his life and didn't want me talking to him and had him block me. I knew that was the case. He didn't have to tell me, even though he did tell me later on. But I was happy that he opened up that line of communication with me for me to realize he is a genuine guy who, yes, plays a character and yes, does 3 a.m. challenges because they're popular, and he's number one for it. And he's gotten very successful at it, with lots of jealousy across the platform. People will do anything, it seems, just to ruin what he has made for himself. He's the hardest worker I've ever seen on YouTube, uploading almost every day, because these videos are incredibly in-depth. With his editing, his props, and everything he does in his videos, it's incredibly extensive. But what happened was, he didn't have a Twitter. Keem pulled some strings, got his Twitter removed, saying it was an impersonator, even though it was really him. But he never deserved that to happen. But recently he got back on Twitter. I believe his new Twitter name is Imjaystation. And I tweeted at him. I said, Jay, unblock me again. Because I knew Alexia dropped out of his life again and they broke up. I said, Jay, follow me back so I can DM you. Let me continue to help you with, getting your monetization back and everything. And he did it immediately. He followed me on Twitter. He unblocked me on Instagram. And we began talking again. And he's trying to be dragged down by like a bunch of commentary and drama channels, because they're still trying to step all over him, and just make a mockery of him, literally kicking a man when he's down, literally having his main income taken away for almost 6 months already, still trying to make money and views and subscribers off of the poor guy. So I said, listen, Jason, let me video chat you. Let me video chat you on Instagram. I want to talk to you. I wanted to get to know the real Jay. I wanted to see that he was genuine, because I was guessing that he was genuine based on my talks with him on Instagram. I figured this is a guy playing a character, possibly went through some rough times as a child growing up, which made him overly defensive. Which would lead to him being overly defensive on Twitter and whatnot, which obviously makes him misunderstood, because a sweet guy who's overly defensive can easily be misunderstood as someone who's just an angry person. And a lot of people might just view him as an angry person with a bunch of tattoos who's a no good bad boy. I don't know. But I wanted to get down to the nitty gritty, and I wanted to get to know the real Jay. He'd allowed me into his life as much as he did, so I figured he'd let me video chat him. And he was very kind to allow me to do so. We talked for almost an hour, if I can remember correctly. We've now had 2 video chats now on Instagram. The first time, I believe, was over or almost an hour. Or no, maybe it was just 28 minutes. But I recalled the exact time in my previous video where I talked about calling him. Nonetheless, I could tell he was 100% genuine. We chit-chatted about how he could get his monetization back and how I could help him as much as possible. And it was a great conversation. But over the next couple of days, I culminated a list of things I wanted to ask him. And things I wanted to help him with on how he could improve his image, get positive attention instead of negative attention on the platform, and hopefully get his monetization back in a timely manner. And within this conversation, I said to him, Jason, that video you uploaded a little over a year ago, where you're terribly beaten and you're going through your house explaining to everyone watching how these intruders of your home did this to you. What happened, Jason? I know that your face was screwed up, and that was genuine. I thought that maybe he upset somebody in real life and got into some kind of scuffle. I didn't know whether I should believe that video exactly, because he'd done so many things for publicity or views, and more than that, everybody or a lot of people on the platform seemed to be saying that it was all fake. So I really just wanted to know for my own curiosity, what happened? What did you get into? Who did you get into it with? What happened, and why did this person do this to you? Because by this time, we'd been talking last night for about an hour or longer. And I'd grown to realize he's a genuine guy. He's a good guy. Ahmed's a good guy. They're good to each other. Ahmed reached out to me recently. Why were all these people leaving his life and making videos that were bad about him? What's going on? If I'd talked to you for an hour already, and I can tell you're a good, genuine guy, why is everything going downhill? Well, I think Jay's gotten better with seeing consequences and of his actions and whatnot. But what it came down to was, like I said, he's a hard worker who spends a lot of time on videos and editing and uploading every day. And when he had people help him with videos, he wanted them to consistently help him. Or else he just found somebody else to help him with his videos, which he had every right to do. It's his own business, really. He can hire and fire whomever. However, he was a good guy and he paid these people. So when he moved on to the next person to help him, sometimes they took it to heart and they made bad videos on him, which is unfortunate. He didn't think about consequences in those situations. I guess he could have broken it off with them easier or more easily. I don't know. Let him know, hey, you can come back and forth. And he even said to me last night, if he had several people to help him with videos on some days and they could take days off and others help him on other days, it worked out. But he didn't have it coordinated perfectly like that, I guess, where he had several people helping him. It was more or less focusing on one person, Jay Hill, Wesley, whomever, Alexia, whomever, to help him. And then when they were off doing their own thing because they wanted to take days off, which is understandable, he wanted to film, and it was frustrating for him. And that's when he'd look for others. But that brings me back to the point. All those videos people made on him made people think, well, we can't believe him. What do we believe of Jason's? Well, after that horrendous experience that he went through at his own home, many YouTubers talked about it, saying it was fake, including a guy named Penguins, whom I've always greatly enjoyed the commentary of. He has a great vocabulary, he says some interesting and funny things, and just does a great job in his videos. However, I just watched his commentary on Jay's video on the intruders in his home and what they did to him. And I'm disgusted. And I'm about to tell you the reason why I am disgusted by that. Because last night when I saw how genuine he was, and I asked him, Jay, what happened? Be honest with me, please. Please, if it's something other than what exactly happened, and you don't want me to tell people that you faked it, I won't. Please, just for my own curiosity, please just tell me. He said, Joel, it was real. It all happened. I said, what? He said, yeah. They beat me. I went unconscious 3 times. I actually escaped out of my basement because they tied me to a pole in the basement with the chains through his belt loops, sliding his pants off just to barely escape through the window. These people with ski masks that came into his house with pipes and whatnot, he just thought it was a friend playing a prank on him at first. The mistake he made, which shouldn't even be a mistake, was that he was filming with Jay Hill, which it was the same situation. He wanted to film with him every day. And he took time off, and Jay found someone else, and Jay took it to heart. Or, their names are Jay. Jay Hill took it to heart. And unfortunately, Jay told Jay Hill that he wanted to buy a Rolex. He never even got to buying it. But he trusted him and he said he wanted to buy a Rolex. When you make a lot of money on YouTube and it's adding up, sometimes you want to splurge and you have every right to do so. But before he had a chance to buy that Rolex, Jay took it to heart that he was no longer hiring him to film with Jay any longer. And he went and told his friends that Jay had a Rolex, even though Jay didn't have a Rolex. And those friends, of Jay Hills went to Imjaystation's home and did this to him. He barely escaped with his life. They threatened his life, but he barely escaped with his life. And he went, I believe it was his friend's house. I believe it was Wesley, don't quote me. And his friends called the police. Got a police report made, got him to the hospital. The problem is the police let the ball drop. They dropped the ball on this one. They didn't do justice. They didn't give Jay justice for what happened to him. Because all of them deserved to be in jail. Jay deserved restitution. There's no way to repay someone for that. But he at least deserved restitution and the justice of knowing that justice was served and that they went to jail. They did a couple interviews. There was a video of the vehicle that was driven, and he knew that Jay's friends had that vehicle. He had it in the bag, but the detectives dropped it. I can't say that all Canadian detectives are bad, but these certainly were, and they need to get back on the case. This brings me back to the point where Penguins made a video mocking Jay this entire time, which how dare you do that, Penguin? You owe him an apology, and you should delete that video immediately. You mocked a man, literally a victim of a horrendous crime, which leaves Jay fearing for his life, scared at every moment that this is going to happen again. Having to have major security, recently purchasing an attack dog because of this. Over a year later, he's still fearing for his life. How dare you mock this? And how dare any commentary channel mock him? Every commentary channel needs to issue a sincere apology to Jay. I'm sure Jay is more than happy to release police reports, hospital records, etc. But when everybody is saying it's fake, imagine how that makes him feel. It makes him feel even more defeated than he felt after what happened to him at his own home. He watches these videos, these commentary videos, and just feels hopeless that no one believes him. Unfortunately, he has done some fake stuff on YouTube, which has taken away people's trust. But this is one of those things. You see his puffy face. You see his black eye. You see his eyeball actually black, and you say it's makeup. You say it's fake. He could have lost his vision. He could have lost his eye. I've never in my life seen a black eye look like that. Literally a blackened eyeball. He's so lucky that his eyeball fully recovered. That he looks normal again. You should be ashamed of yourself, Penguins. I don't know your name. I don't want to know your name. I'm disgusted by the way you've treated my friend Jason. Completely discrediting everything that he went through. You should be ashamed of yourself, and you need to come out with an apology. I'm sorry, guys. I'm emotional. Jay's my friend, and I've come to realize that Jay's a good guy. And that, yeah, he's made mistakes, and he'll even admit that. But he deserves his monetization back. He deserves apologies for what people say didn't happen to him. And he deserves to continue working harder than any other YouTuber on this platform, like he has this whole time. I'm done.